Welcome to Sessions with Judith John. I have added the WhatsApp number for contact and also my email ID, which is right now flashing on the screen. Please do contact using these two platforms for any queries. And today's session is something very different. It is for all my teacher colleagues out there. When we talk about being a teacher, just like any other profession, it has its highs and lows, and we all need to boost ourselves with a cup of tea, to take a sip of some good drink which makes us feel good, to go ahead working. So this session, I've named it as SIP, SIP, which means or stands for the Self-Improvement Program. What do we need to improve ourselves, to get going at work? When we improve ourselves, naturally the student in front of us will also improve. It's always that we pass on. What we feel, what we do, we pass on to others. It is being observed and watched by others. So our students will be the first ones to really look at it, watch it, learn it. So self-improvement, to be a lifelong learner, it's a natural process actually. You look at any living human being. We keep learning and improving on an everyday basis, lifelong. Till the last day that we breathe, I am sure every one of us keep learning with every coming day. Each new day and some new learning happens. So self-improvement program resulting in the student improvement and therefore the school improvement programs. Therefore it becomes a school improvement program. And what is it? A teacher introspection. We all need to take some time out to examine ourselves, introspect on how far we have come and how far we have to go. So this session is the teacher introspection, or we are just stopping a few minutes as teachers to take a sip, examine ourselves, contemplate on what kind of a teacher I am and where I would like to be. So let's get started. To begin with, teacher accountability. Let's just pause and look at these few points. I'm just placing a few points here and there, random points, for introspection, for reflection. So, the self. For myself, what would I like to be? I would like to be a good teacher. When it comes to my subject, I should surely know more than the students. And today's students know a lot already. I have to be more knowledgeable than them. So you have to spend time learning, preparing. Am I doing that? Coming to the student, it is their growth and our work. So our work should be reflected in their growth. If my students aren't growing, then I'll have to think of altering my style of work to suit to their needs, to see their growth. To my superiors, I should be responsive and cooperative. Am I that? If so, to what percentage? And how much percentage is left for me to go ahead a little more? And the school is a joint responsibility. Everyone who is in the school, each and every member who is working with the school contributes to what the school becomes. I would like to make this session into a meditative one. So ask just each of us will ask ourselves, who is a teacher? Teacher is not an instructor, but a motivator is something we have heard many a times. But am I that? Am I actually doing that in the classroom, or am I just instructing? Am I easily slipping off into old school thought? Not one who compares, but one who reinforces. Am I comparing in the class while teaching or dealing with the students? Am I comparing myself to others or being the best version of myself? Am I comparing the students, or am I just being supportive and being their strength and giving them the strength? The teacher is one who believes in the sanctity of education, in the purest of thoughts. We should be just that. Am I that? The teacher is one who regulates and controls first of all their own thoughts. So am I that? Do I regulate and control myself, my work, my style of work, my approach? Am I disciplined? Then can I make my students also disciplined? What is my identity as a teacher? It's easy to question. Let's see a little more on this. A teacher. How do I carry my identity with me? I'm tactful, I'm efficient, I'm active, I'm courageous, I'm honest, enthusiastic, and regular in my work. This is my identity as a teacher. And if I really carry these with me everywhere, others around me will reflect the same, with no choice left. I'm just putting random thoughts around in each of the slides for meditation, for thinking, for spending time on as you take your sip of healthy drink, to contemplate, to introspect. So maybe some of these at least will make us improve ourselves as teachers. These are the 7 qualities of a teacher. A prosperous teacher is happy always. If you walk into the classroom sad, or into the school as you're entering with a sad face, then that's not a very prosperous teacher at all. So happy, pleasant to approach. The students and the other teachers should be able to approach us easily. Presentable, very, very important. This is very essential because although we say a book is cannot be judged by the cover, in most people, it's part of personality also. They do look at how presentable you are. So always dressed very neatly, modestly, confident. Am I confident? If I have the confidence, and I'll pass on that confidence to my students. If I'm confident, I'll be good at my work as well. Knowledgeable. There's no end to knowledge. We go on and on and on. It's an ocean. But at least for that day when I'm entering the class, do I know I have to answer all the questions based on that particular topic for that day at least? So preparation. Am I updated with the current events? Essential. Dedicated. It's not about coming to work for money. The dedication should bring me respect, as we do not ask for respect. You don't demand for respect, you command it. And understanding. We have to be understanding. We should be able to even sense what's happening to a child in the classroom without the child telling us, by just looking at the face. Yes, something is wrong or something is troubling the child. Let me call aside and ask. That should be the quality of a good teacher. And now the characteristics of teaching. How caring am I? Am I a caring teacher? Sharing with others. Whatever knowledge we have, we'll have to share with others. With the students, with the colleagues. Then we'll be enriched in giving. It's only when we give we are rich. If we go on piling up and keeping the knowledge to ourselves, then we are not a teacher at all. If we are teachers, it's about giving the knowledge to others. Otherwise, one fine day when we die and it will be buried with us, where does that knowledge go? Okay. We have to be surely good at guiding and counseling. It comes naturally to teachers, I believe. Directing the students in the right way. Along with the teaching, it has to go. Evaluation. When it comes to evaluating, you should not be looking at the name. Your yardstick should be only the marking scheme. Nothing else beyond that. To be a good judge. So that your evaluation work will be the right thing, done in the right manner. Recognize others for their work. Appreciate, even if they be your colleagues, if they need to be appreciated, do it. They will love you all the more. Even your students, they need lots of it. Even the least thing they do in the classroom, or you notice something, keep your eyes and ears open and be alert. Recognize, appreciate, and motivate. How do we motivate? First of all, we have to be role models. Because what I have learned in my experience is that most learning goes by watching and observing, not by what we say. If we keep on telling the students and instructing them, do this, be like that, they do not appreciate. But they watch, they observe, they imitate, they learn. Here is a list of the qualities of a successful teacher. Let's check ourselves whether we are that. The teacher is a successful teacher is a technical expert. He or she is a competent classroom manager. How well am I managing my class? And yet being pleasant, being liked by the students, being student sensitive, giving constant and attentive encouragement, ambitious winner, making my school the benchmark. This is on top of the list because that is the end goal. Making my school the benchmark. Each of us as teachers have to keep this in mind. What is my contribution? Fast learner, learning and growing to reach one's own level of superiority. Important. Optimist, promoting positive attitude. If we are not able to promote positive attitude, then the whole environment around us, the students, will be affected by that. Be a counselor, maintaining spiritual and emotional balance. If as a teacher I am not spiritually and emotionally balanced, what will I be able to give to the others? Being prompt, alert all the time, observant, planned, systematic, organized, being prepared always. If I'm entering the school, I have to be prepared. Coming ready to do anything and always being ready to do anything. Not when my seniors tell me or ask me to do a thing and then I make a face or screw up my face and do work unpleasantly, unwillingly. The result of the work will also stand there. There's this formula, simple one. PQ. As a teacher, I need these. Prayer, my spiritual life, preparation, and presence of mind. Even if we forget all the others and just take these three, what is it which I need? Prayer, preparation, presence of mind. I can be an excellent teacher. Do I really do these? Do I need to work in any of these areas? Let's just think. EQ. As a teacher, I'm enthusiastic, efficient, and effective. Enthusiasm should be seen in you, then the students will do the same. How efficient am I that my students will do the same? Effective, if my teaching is not effective enough, then how will I see the result in my students? There's a small reflection here. Many a times teachers are compared to lamps, light, and giving light to others, and you know, or a ladder is there and the teacher is a ladder. I like this the best because somewhere when the lamp burns, the wick goes off, the oil goes off. So I don't think any teacher should be killing herself or himself and then giving to others. Not really. First, the teacher has to be strong physically, emotionally, mentally. okay, to give to others. Otherwise, what can we give others? Somewhere even the ladder is a little thing because the ladder remains where it is and the way it is. Teacher cannot be that. Teacher is a mobile library to be furnished now and then. So already the teacher is a library, knows a lot, carries a lot with him or her, so much of the knowledge, and this has to be updated now and then. Library. We can't say 100-year-old library and it is stuck there. No, because every day we are going to be keep buying more journals, books, newspapers, everything pours into the library. And time and again there's an annual updating of the library with new books. It's furnished with new books. The teacher is like that. We already come with our own baggage, whole lot of learning, talents and everything. But they have to be updated and furnished now and then. So always remember that we teachers are mobile libraries. So we have to keep ourselves always updated and furnished. This one point always strikes me a lot. The strategy of teaching is to make the child work and not the teacher shout. It's a simple sharing from my side that I've always believed this. When you shout a lot, the other side never listens. Whoever you are talking to. When we shout, no one listens. When we whisper, everybody will listen. So we don't have to raise our voice and shout. We can be gentle. We should learn to modulate our own voice according to the need or the crowd present there and the size of the room, the number of students, and limit ourselves to that. So it is about teaching to make the child work. It is child centered. We want the child to do. What is our work? To make the child do. We are shouting, but the child is not doing anything, then what is the result? So we have to keep watching whether the child is at work, whether the output from the child is coming. Allow the children to speak. Allow the children to do. Just monitor. I have put this last, but this one is at the top of all. Teamwork. Nothing in this world functions and alone, individually. And as human beings, we are the best examples of parasites. For everything, we require help. We cannot do anything on our own. Like most animals, we cannot build our own homes. We can't even stitch our own clothes. For everything, it's a whole lot of team that works with it. So experience the art of being together. Learn the skill of being together. Working together with everyone. It's not me and me alone. United we stand, divided we fall is a very old saying with an old story that goes with it. But how much of it do we practice? Without our colleagues around us, we will not be able to do anything. It's all combined and put together that work happens. It's not about competing. Never look at your colleagues as your competitors. It's about completing work. So working together, it's a collaboration. Let's remember, think about all these points, at least some of the points over here. Okay, like taking a sip of tea or any healthy drink. to contemplate, to examine ourselves, and to grow within and be better teachers with every passing day. I hope this session has helped in doing a little bit of meditation, kind of introspection, okay, and help us be better teachers along with the cup of healthy drink to be healthy teachers. Keep watching Sessions with Judith John for more tips to excel and stand out. You can always contact me on this WhatsApp number to have a discussion. Welcome. Until then, wishing you all the very best for this academic year. God bless you all.